This time, we're going to be looking at all this research about the digital world, but more specifically, all the potential downsides.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds a little scary.
It does a bit, doesn't it? But this article we have, it's a wild online world.
Okay.
It just came up today, and it just got me thinking, like, is the digital world this new Wild West?
Ooh.
You know?
Interesting.
Full of all this, like, opportunity, but also maybe danger.
Yeah, that's a good comparison, I think. You know, this article, it talks about all these terms like brain rot, digital dementia, selfitis. These are...
It sounds very Wild West-y, doesn't it?
They do, yeah. Kind of like warning signs from the Wild West.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, are we all just blindly wandering into this? Yeah. You know, I know I've definitely felt it on like my focus and even my mood sometimes. Yeah. But I mean, is there any real science behind these catchy phrases?
Yeah.
Like, should we be worried about this stuff?
Well, one of the things that the article talks about is this idea of like a bottomless pit effect.
Okay.
And so, you know, unlike traditional media, like, say, a book or a movie, you know, the digital world doesn't have these clear stopping cues.
Oh, interesting.
So think about, like, your social media feed, right? Okay. You can just keep scrolling and scrolling.
Oh, yeah.
And there's always more, you know?
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah.
I've definitely lost hours down those rabbit holes.
Totally.
But so how does that, like, lack of boundaries, how does that actually affect our brains?
Well, there's research that shows that this constant stimulation can lead to this sensory overload.
Right.
And so, I mean, brain rot might be...
a bit of an exaggeration.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right.
But this overload does seem to impact our attention spans and our ability to self-regulate. And some researchers even suggest it might be... contributing to, you know, rising rates of anxiety and depression.
Wow, that's a lot more serious than just like feeling fried after too much screen time.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this like digital Pied Piper leading us all astray? Like, what does the research say about like the addictive potential?
Yeah, so there's a lot of debate actually in the medical community on like how to even classify problematic digital use.
Interesting.
You know, we've got all these terms like internet addiction disorder, screen dependency, but there's no like official diagnosis yet.
So even without like an official label, it's still like real, the impact.
Yeah, the impact is real,
Yeah, that's so interesting.
And it makes you think about like how we even define this stuff, you know?
Totally. Where's the line between like harmless and more serious?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, even without a formal diagnosis, like the consequences of using too much are undeniable.
Right.
And so the article actually points to social media as a prime example, you know?
Right.
While it can be a good tool for connection, the research also links it to things like cyberbullying.
Oh, wow.
Mental health struggles, especially in teens.
Right.
And also this intense pressure to present this perfect online life.
You know, it's funny you say that because I've totally fallen into that trap myself. Like, if I spend too long on social media, I start to feel inadequate.
Right.
Like, I'm not doing enough, not being enough.
Yeah.
Like, how common is that feeling, do you think?
I think you're definitely not alone.
Yeah.
You know? And the article actually points to like some really specific downsides.
Okay.
You know, including like feelings of isolation, unhealthy competition, body image issues, and even a rise in criminal activity.
That's a pretty sobering list.
It is.
Wow. It makes me think about another term from the article.
Yeah.
Digital dementia.
Oh, yeah.
That one's always kind of freaked me out. Is that like a real condition?
It's a controversial term, for sure.
Right.
It was actually coined by doctors in South Korea who were seeing cognitive decline in young people who were spending a lot of time gaming.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, is it actually as severe as dementia, or is that like an oversimplification?
So there is an argument that digital dementia trivializes real dementia, which is a much more serious condition.
Right.
But, you know, there is a growing body of evidence that technology is impacting our memory and attention in ways we don't fully understand.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of this study I read from UT about how just having your phone nearby can cause, like, brain drain, even if it's off.
Yeah, there could be a connection there.
Really?
Yeah. So that UT study actually found that just the mere presence of a smartphone can reduce attention spans.
Wow.
And slow down reaction times. So think about it. Like, how often do you find yourself reaching for your phone even when there's no notification?
Oh, all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if it's not, like, actively ringing or buzzing, it's still taking up space in your mind.
Like this little attention-sucking vortex.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, it's not just the mental side of things.
Right.
Like, this article was talking about all these physical consequences, too.
Exactly, yeah.
Like the whole picture of the doom scroller, all slumped over.
Yeah.
Just, like, lost in all this negativity. Right. That can't be good for our bodies.
No, you're absolutely right.
Oh.
Yeah, the article talks about the physical toll that digital overload can take. We're talking about everything from eye strain and headaches to neck pain, back pain, carpal tunnel,
Wow.
Even sleep disturbances.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the blue light from our devices, it can actually interfere with our sleep.
It does. It really does,
Making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep.
Ugh. Yeah, I'm so guilty of, like, scrolling in bed.
Yeah.
And I always regret it.
Yeah. It's a common habit.
Yeah.
But, it can really impact our sleep. And when we're sleep deprived, we're more susceptible to mood swings, difficulty concentrating, even a weakened immune system.
It's like a vicious cycle.
It is.
Yeah, we're using technology to unwind, but it makes us more stressed.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like a classic example of how technology can be a blessing and a curse,
Right, totally.
Yeah, so it really highlights, like, how important it is to set those boundaries.
Right.
And use it in a way that actually, like, supports our well-being.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
So we've talked about our brains, our bodies, our sleep. What about, like, our relationships?
Oh, yeah.
Like, how is all this screen time affecting how we connect with each other?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's something that, researchers are still trying to fully understand.
Right.
But, some studies suggest that social media can actually strengthen relationships by, giving us more opportunities to communicate.
Right. Like staying in touch with people far away.
Exactly.
That is nice.
It's easier than ever to stay in touch with, like, friends and family who live far away.
Yeah.
But other studies suggest that too much social media can lead to those feelings of isolation.
Oh, wow.
And loneliness.
So it's like we're more connected, but also more disconnected.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like a paradox.
It really is.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if, like, we're interacting so much through screens.
Right.
That, like, are we losing our ability to, like, empathize in real life?
It's a valid concern. And the article actually touches on that. Some experts are worried that all this screen time is making us less adept at like reading social cues and understanding the emotions of others.
That's something to think about.
It is, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about, like, the digital generation.
Right.
The people who grew up with all this.
Yeah.
Like, what are the challenges they're facing?
Yeah, that's a huge topic. I mean, we could probably do a whole
other deep dive
on that.
I know, right?
But I think it's fair to say that they're navigating this world in ways that we can only imagine.
It's funny. It's like digital natives versus digital immigrants.
Right.
Yeah, I can't imagine growing up with all that.
Yeah.
Like, it must be so, like, exhilarating and overwhelming all at the same time.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, it gives them access to so much information, so many opportunities. They can, connect with people from all over the world, learn new skills, explore their interests in ways that, we couldn't have even dreamed of.
Right, totally.
So the world is at their fingertips, really.
It really is.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's got to have downsides, too, right?
Of course.
Like, all this connectivity.
Yeah. Yeah. They're facing unique challenges as well.